Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line, he, wrote, produced, and starred in A Place in the Field that is out today on demand. Don DiPetta is on the line. Hey, Don, how we doing today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. We were just talking off air that this is number 12 of the day.
This is. There's been a few radio interviews this morning, but we're excited to do it.
There you go. All right, so let's get into the movie. It is out today. First question, you've probably been asked it a lot. This is a military movie. Are you a veteran?
I am not a veteran, and no. When I was 18 years old, I grew up in Georgia, and a lot of my friends, our choice was either are we going to go play sports in college or are we going to the military? And luckily enough, I was able to get a scholarship, but I still have a handful of buddies currently serving, so props to them.
All right, so this is a very, very involved, movie on the side of someone dealing with the things they saw while in combat. Where did the idea for this come from? How did you get it set up? How did you know so much about it?
Sure. Like I said, I think having a number of friends that are actively serving, and then another number of people in my life that, especially involved in the film, that were in the military and were in Iraq and Afghanistan. It came out of, I think, the beginning of the pandemic and not really knowing what was going on and slowing down and having some time to, work through and heal some of the stuff in my life. And so the themes of like trauma or PTSD, I think they're not just, strictly for veterans. I think it's relatable to everyone. And,
yeah.
This was the vehicle with which we were able to kind of explore that idea.
I get the feeling that this is more of a movie about healing than anything else.
Yes, and excitedly so. I think Hollywood a lot of times likes to, they like to just make a big show out of pain and suffering of veterans, and that's not at all what we wanted to do with this movie. We wanted to. This is the beginning of the healing. This is that first step towards recovery, and this is the beginning of the. Hopefully, the journey forward.
Don DiPetta on the line with me right now. A Place in the Field is out today on demand wherever you watch your movies. Was there someone in mind, because you star as the main character in this, was there someone in mind, and you don't have to name a name if there was, but was there someone in mind when you were portraying this character?
I think he was kind of like an amalgamation of people. I really do. But I think this is kind of just the everyman. I know that a lot of veterans come home and they suffer in silence, and that's kind of what this guy and who this guy is. And so it's not one person. I think it's a group of people kind of all put together.
When you made your way through this movie after it was all said and done, what was the thought in your head about it?
Oh, I hope I did it justice. The other hope was, man, we should have got a bigger actor. But no, but it worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. I mean, this was a shoestring, truly independent film made in the middle of the pandemic with just a group of like passionate filmmakers, and Lionsgate saw it. They saw what we were trying to do, and they picked it up, and they're the distributors on it, and we couldn't be happier about it.
When you came out of it, was there trepidation about that part of it? I mean, how did you, I guess there's the question of how did you prepare for this? But, I mean, going into this is something that's very specific to a lot of people, Right.
Yeah. There was an incredible fear, and I think that's what kept me honest about it. At the end of the day, I know it's about a guy searching for healing, and he's going through his things. I think those are universal themes. But the specifics of being a veteran was a lot of research. I read a lot of books about people who have served, and, especially in Iraq and Afghanistan, all the memoirs and things like that. I spoke to a ton of veterans. One of the writers on the film is still active military. There were a ton of people behind the camera. So it was me asking a lot of questions and saying, I don't know, but I want to get it right. And then the veterans along the way that were gracious enough to help me.
That's a very powerful statement for people that I think everybody has, that feeling of, man, if I say I don't know about something, it means I'm stupid or I'm not as good of an actor as some people think, or, as good at whatever. And it's like, if you don't know, you have to ask.
Right. Yeah. I don't know a lot of things. And I'm fortunate enough to know, to be okay with saying that now. But I don't know is the beginning of knowing. And so I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was surely helpful along the way when I would talk to veterans and be like, I have no idea how to do this. Can you teach me? Can you show me? Can you help me? and they were all incredibly helpful and grateful and gracious.
Have any of these guys seen the movie yet?
Yes. They have all seen it, except I got a buddy who's currently he's a Marine, and he's over in Quantico right now, and he hasn't been able to see the movie yet. So I'm super excited because he was one of the guys that this movie was really about for me, and who I would think about a lot. So now that it's on streaming on Apple and Amazon and on demand today, he's going to be able to see it, and so I'm excited for that.
What's the one compliment that's really stuck out about this from a soldier that's been through this? Veterans,
after they see the film, will ask me if I served. And so when guys are like, "Hey, did you serve?" That's the highest compliment I can get.
That was my first thought, and why I asked that as the first question, because you watch this and you think, man, this guy may have seen something. You know,
that's wonderful to hear. I appreciate you saying that. Me and the entire team, we did our best to make this authentic as possible. And like I said, it's not this generalized Hollywood portrayal of a guy spiraling out of control or robbing a bank. This is a guy just searching for healing.
Don DiPetta from A Place in the Field. It is out today on demand. Wrote, produced, and starred in this. What was the little thing that you had to make sure was in the film?
Easy Rider was a big influence for me.
Really?
In this film. Yeah, I mean, that's like the quintessential road trip film. So that was kind of the blueprint for making this. And so there's a scene in that film where they kind of pull over on the side of the road and the sun's setting, and they climb up on like an old abandoned shack, and they're just in shadow, and they watch the sunset, and you can hear the wind blowing. And I told my director, Nicole, who's a very talented female director out here in Hollywood now, and I was just like, I want the Easy Rider moment. I kept saying that over and over and over. And we got one. We got one in the film, so I'm happy about that.
You know what's funny about that? When I asked, nowhere in my wildest dreams did I think it would be the Easy Rider moment.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just unexpected. That's very cool. I like it.
Yeah, this is a throwback. I think this is kind of one of those throwback films to the 60s and 70s where people were making independent cinema, because that's what this was. So hopefully we did it justice.
Don DiPetta from A Place in the Field. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you got about 4 more of these today. What's coming up? I know it's on demand today, but what's next for all this, and what's next for you?
Well, hopefully this movie does well, so we get to make another one. So please support the film, rent it, buy it on demand, and all those streaming places. And then I'm in a television show coming up on Apple TV called Sugar, and that stars Colin Farrell. And that's
really?
Supposed to come out. Yeah, and that's going to come out, I guess, the beginning of 2024. It's been a little pushed since we've been on a strike out here, and everything's a little bit discombobulated. But that will be the next project up.
Awesome. Well, Don, it was great to meet you. I wish you nothing but the best, and good luck with Place in the Field. Okay, man?
Thank you so much. This is great.
Take care, bud.